Welcome to McMahon Stadium. At this time, the Stampeders ask that you please rise, remove your caps and hats, and direct your attention to the stamps drawn screen for a special memorial presentation.
The Calgary Stampeders, Calgary Flames, Edmonton Eskimos, the province of Alberta, and our great nation have lost a legend. Normie Kwong was a two-time CFL Most Outstanding Canadian and four-time Grey Cup winner. His first Grey Cup with the Stampeders in 1948 was also the club's first championship. Kwong was a trailblazer in the CFL as the first Canadian player of Asian heritage. His accomplishments included setting the CFL Canadian rushing record, induction into the Canadian Sports Hall of Fame, the Canadian Football Hall of Fame, and the Alberta Sports Hall of Fame.
And Kwong burst through the hole, knocked off balance by Harold Patterson and covered by Tom Moran for 22 yards and a long first down.
He also served as president and general manager of the Stampeders and was inducted into the Wall of Fame as a builder in 2012. He was also part of the original ownership group that brought the Flames to Calgary. With the Flames Stanley Cup win in 1989, he became one of the few people who have their name on both the CFL and NHL trophies. And he had an incredible impact and contribution to professional sports in Calgary. Kwong was made a member of the Order of Canada in 1988 and was appointed the Lieutenant Governor of Alberta. As part of that role, he welcomed the Queen of England in 2005, celebrating Alberta's 100 years in Canadian Confederation. A great man, the legacy of Normie Kwong will endure. Normie Kwong was 86 years old.
We now ask that you bow your heads in a moment of silence honoring Normie Kwong. Thank you. Please remain standing. Performing the national anthem today, leading seaman Brandy Sidoric, along with the Royal Canadian Navy Reserve Band and official flag party, HMCS Tecumseh.
Ton bras et porter l'épée, il sait porter la croix. Ton histoire est une épopée des plus brillantes histoires. God keep our land. Glory.
Smith marks Labor Day weekend. Here we go. Neighbors reunited, rivalry reignited. Stampeders and Eskimos, their first meeting, the Battle of Alberta, Labor Day underway at McMahon Stadium. Roy Finch Tries to escape. He can't. He's brought down near the 37-yard line, a 22-yard return. So under brilliant sunshine, it feels like football weather right now. Indeed it is. Bo Levi Mitchell brings his offense back onto the field here at McMahon.
And it's always got that playoff atmosphere here in Southern Alberta on Labor Day. You see the numbers on Bo Levi Mitchell. The number you don't see is that very impressive win-loss record. Highest winning percentage for a Stampeders starting quarterback ever.
Stamps with some alterations on their offensive line. We'll see how it plays out. A team that has not given up a turnover in 2 games, nor a sack. Levi Mitchell goes over the middle. He's got his man. Bo with the throw to Markway McDaniel, and a huge one.
Well, one of the keys to Calgary Stampeder success is their protection at the line of scrimmage, and it's the protection that allows this deep route to develop. They get things blocked up. Markway McDaniel goes deep, finds that seam. Perfect strike. Mitchell to McDaniel. CFL fans are used to hearing that one.
53-yard gain. Immediately to the red zone go the Calgary Stampeders, who have not scored a touchdown so far this season on their opening drive. They'll hand it off to Jerome Messam, who has played on both sides of the Battle of Alberta. Of course, the most outstanding Canadian with the Eskimos a few years ago, and a big impact here in Calgary.
Yeah, Jerome Messam has been a monster, second in the Canadian Football League in rushing. What he does with that rock on first down will be significant. You saw Markway McDaniel make his 53rd reception of the season to lead the Stampeders. The offensive line, Ukembre Williams, gets the start at right tackle.
Messam swallowed up, fumble football, and the Stampeders are on the ball. Derek Dennis. So once again, an opening drive will result not in a touchdown, but a field goal attempt for Bo Mitchell and the Stampeders as they cough up the football but are able to pounce on it.
And this is something the Stampeders have done very well, is protect that football. That's just Messam's second fumble of the season. He's got over 100 carries thus far. So after a very promising opening play, they have to settle for a Paredes attempt.
Paredes now 29 in a row. He has the all-time CFL record of 39 in a row. He has his sights set on that. Mike Riley, sights set on another Labor Day classic. Riley and the Eskimos, their first series next.
16 and a 6-pack, $20 and a shoulder tap. Got you too far gone to get back.
Great day for football on Labor Day 2016. Riley, play action to a Darius Bowman, comes into this game 44 yards shy of the 1,000-yard mark. Has 10 on that play and a first down.
The Eskimos offense gets John White back in that backfield. Shakir Bell, of course, filled in admirably in their last outing with over 100 yards rushing. The receiving core, you mentioned Bowman. Of course, Darrell Walker within striking distance of 1,000 as well. Both have over 60 catches on the season. That offensive line anchored by one-time Stampeder Tony Washington at left tackle.
Riley has some pressure on him and throws a one-hopper. Was looking for Chris Getzlaff. It'll be 2nd and 10 now from the Eskimo 45-yard line.
We take a look at the Calgary Stampeder defense. Charleston Hughes, as usual, among the league leaders in sacks, tied for 2nd in the league. Alex Singleton, the Canadian first-round pick this year, gets the start for ratio reasons at middle linebacker. In the secondary, we'll keep an eye on Jamar Wall and Brandon Smith at the halfback spots.
Here comes the rush again. Good protection and a nice catch. Corey Watson covered by Brandon Smith. Another first down, 14-yard pickup into Calgary territory.
Corey Watson, third leading receiver for these Edmonton Eskimos. You rely on this guy, veteran, former Winnipeg Blue Bomber. Joined the Esks last season there, working the quick out.
Riley and the Eskimos accumulated the most offense this season in the CFL. Two teams that put up a lot of points, 1 and 2. And the last two Grey Cup champions meeting here on this Labor Day.
guy that knows a thing or two about the Battle of Alberta. Playing quarterback for the Edmonton Eskimos in the Battle of Alberta, Jason Moss. Suited up for a few of these in his career. His team has won 3 straight coming into this one.
Against another guy who knows a little bit about this rivalry. Stamps come in winning 6 in a row, undefeated in 8. Riley from the pocket. Little sidearm toss over the top. Finds Getzlaff up near the 40-yard line.
As we officially enter this second half of the season, be interesting to see how some of the pass distribution, the targets shift. Mike Riley stepping up to buy a little bit of time, but we so often obviously see the majority of the balls going to Darrell Walker and Adarius Bowman. They've got that other side, the 3 Canadians, Watson, Getzlaff, and Coulthard.
Look out, Mike Riley. Down he goes and pounces on it as the blitz was coming big time. And it was Joe Burnett who got to Mike Riley from the blind side.
And Burnett's coming from the outside. Here gets up on that line of scrimmage, former Edmonton Eskimo, unblocked man in this protection scheme. And you can tell Mike Riley clearly isn't expecting him. A lot of times as a quarterback, you recognize there's going to be an unblocked guy, and you know essentially you're responsible for him. You've got to get rid of the ball before he comes, but that time Riley expected that to be picked up or didn't know Burnett was blitzing.
2nd and 20. Riley stepping up in the grasp, and down he goes once more. Frank Beltre got to him. Back-to-back huge plays with pressure on Mike Riley, and he's dropped in the backfield. Back-to-back sacks here from the Calgary Stampeders.
Beltre just managed to slip off Tony Washington on the inside. He, of course, becomes the lucky guy playing opposite Charleston Hughes. It always seems like whoever's at that bookend defensive end spot opposite Hughes racks up pretty big numbers. We've seen it with Freddie Bishop, Sean Lemon previously.
Roy Finch down the sideline on the 39-yard kick by Grant Shaw.
Hey, DSC, where we at, baby? All day.
Cutting class trying to duck our teachers. Bombing smokes out behind the bleachers. Friday driving double feature. Took my girl and we didn't watch either.
Katy, Texas, who is already writing some serious chapters. There's another fumble at Jerome Messam, but the whistle had blown in the backfield, and the Eskimos right now all over Jerome Messam.
Well, the guy all over him on that play, Armando Sewell, he comes into this game with 5 sacks in his last 5 games as he's starting to round back into form. The linebacking core, we're used to J.C. Sherritt leading the group in tackles. There's been Dion Lacey working at a pace, on pace for over 100 tackles this season. The secondary really starting to settle down. I think the acquisition of former Red Black Brandon Thompson has been key on the field side.
Eskimos drop 8. Mitchell flushed and chucks, and nobody home. There's going to be an interference call. It looks like downfield. The flag flew near the 40-yard line, and this is going to keep this drive going for the Calgary Stampeders. Marcel Young is arguing his case. Marquay McDaniel was the intended target as Bo Levi Mitchell was just airing it out.
Yeah, Marquay McDaniel was picking himself up off the turf as that ball was in the air.
Illegal contact on a receiver. Edmonton, number 23. 10-yard penalty. Remains 2nd down.
And here you'll see the infraction as Marquay McDaniel breaks downfield. Maybe a case of bad timing by Marcel Young. It didn't look like a hard shot or anything. It looked almost more like McDaniel lost his footing as he was trying to cut just as Young got there.
So not an automatic first down, just a 10-yard penalty. Still, it'll be 2nd and 2. Chance to get this first down. Play action. And there is Tavares Daniels. What an impression he made last week. Blocked a punt. Had his first CFL touchdown. And only 2 games played now for Calgary as He comes in motion, and they get the first down.
Yeah, you're going to see him work across the formation, right to left on your screen. Play action when you've got Jerome Messam in that backfield. Defense has to honor that run fake. It freezes everybody for a second and allows Daniels to slip out to the flat.
First down from the Calgary 49. Mitchell again. Trying to escape. And he'll throw it to the far sideline. Gary Peters over there making the catch for the Eskimos, but he's just a spectator on that sideline, so it'll be second down now.
And you'll see the feeling out process here for right tackle Eukenbury Williams here working against Odell Willis. Willis gets underneath him a little bit on that one. You know, Willis as a veteran in this league, pass rusher, he's going to try and set him up with different moves. So there you see the physical stuff early on. We may see a little more of that Odell Willis finesse stuff once he gets him back on his heels.
Three-man rush. Mitchell escapes, likely a holding call here. Throws to the far side. Anthony Parker having an outstanding season with the Stamps, the former Calgary Dino. Played his university ball right here, McMahon Stadium. This is coming back.
Illegal block, hands to the face. Calgary, number 61. 10-yard penalty, remains second down.
There is the newcomer, Williams.
He's out there again at right tackle. He's got the matchup with Odell Willis back-to-back. That time Odell goes with another power move, the rip, getting underneath the pad level of Williams, and the hands slide up to the face.
Calgary doesn't take a lot of penalties. They almost penalty-free most games. Mitchell gets it back, and look out now, dodges one. How did he make that play as Jerome Messam was able to get some positive yardage, but just back to the line of scrimmage. Still, Bo Mitchell did the old sidestep. Otherwise, he would have been plastered.
Yeah, a guy who's not necessarily known for his agility or escapability. But Bo Levi Mitchell ducks the would-be tackler there to find his running back Messam for a nice pickup.
11-yard gain, but it's third down. Denzel Doe is back. Rob Maver sends it to him at the 5-yard line. Long field now for the Edmonton Eskimos. A 54-yard kick with the win from Rob Maver. Mike Riley back in his office in a moment. Who were obviously pretty tight in our interview session yesterday leading up to Labor Day.
And in terms of points against, you're facing the top defense in the league in the Stampeders. Do you look forward to that challenge, or what makes them as good as they are? How do you guys approach that?
First, I think Odell can find me anywhere. Can he see through the walls or something? Shut up! I'm trying to do my interview. Golly. That door's locked, right? He can't just come in here. Oh.
The second half, he's a great way to change. You know, he know how to change schemes and everything. Love you, Mike. So you know, he's great at that.
That's a Labor Day classic.
I think these two deserve each other.
They do. They got to have their own reality show.
Part of what has been described as a great Edmonton dressing room.
Now a little pump fake from Riley. Up near the 20-yard line, Calvin McCarty out of the backfield. Riley and Odell show. O'Reilly, maybe.
Well, it's up to your veterans to set the presence, set the tone in that dressing room with your team, and obviously a tightly knit group.
Two teams also a little tight here early on. Feeling out in the first quarter. 4.5 to go. Mike Riley now with an audible, some confusion in the backfield. Play clock down to 2, down to 1, and he's not getting it off. Credit the 13th man here at McMahon Stadium for that. It was loud. Riley was trying to change the play, could not.
Violation. Edmonton, number 4. 5-yard penalty. Taken down.
Well, tough field position gets even tough to Eskimos. You know, I felt like on the last Rob Maver punt that Kenzel had an opportunity to let that ball go, let it bounce into the end zone, take the single point, improve your field position. You look now, with the decision to field the ball combined with this penalty, they're in a tough spot in second and long.
Here comes that volume again. Second. Riley fires up near the 25-yard line. Close to the first down is Nate Kuhorn, another former Dino, long-time Eskimo, drafted back in 2011. So they got 9. They're going to be a yard short, and they are going to kick. And we talk about the great conditions here, but there is a breeze that will go right into the face here of Grant Shaw, who has the lowest punting average in the Canadian Football League. This is not a good one. Bounces at the midfield stripe. And it will bounce out of bounds. Instant field position here on a 27-yard kick. When we come back, Jermaine Franklin will have more on the Bo Show. The Labor Day Classic continues. The legend of Bo continues to grow with more. Let's go to the sideline. Here's Jermaine Franklin.
Thanks, Rod. Bo Levi Mitchell was asked if he compared himself to today's elite quarterbacks, and he answered saying he doesn't want to be compared to today's quarterbacks. He wants to be compared to the greatest quarterbacks of all time. Now, I asked him to expand on that, and he told me basically that he didn't want to waste his time and energy comparing skill sets with today's quarterbacks because it's a waste of time. But he does, however, want to make sure that he becomes one of the greatest of all times. And in a game that is so focused on the little things, it serves his determination to focus on the details.
Well, he just delivered to Jerome Messam. Galloped down the sideline for 19 yards out of the backfield.
On his Messam heads out to the flat. Odell Willis, the defensive end, peels off with him, but is busy looking in the backfield at the same time. He's got a tough angle. Bo Levi Mitchell drops it over Willis's head. Messam in the flat for that first down pickup.
He is an old soul, Bo Levi Mitchell. Some guys, heroes, were quarterbacks of today. His favorite quarterback, Johnny Unitas, the legend. That's why Bo Levi Mitchell wears number 19. Messam is tackled after a gain of 2.
Yeah, something of a throwback. And a guy in fitting with his head coach, Dave Dickinson. Quite frankly, a student of the game. I remember Dave Dickinson telling me a few years back when Bo Levi Mitchell was a rookie about this kid who would come and sit in his office all day watching film and asking questions. It's a big part of why he is where he is right now.
Right now, his team's at the 31-yard line, 2nd and 7, up 3, 2.5 to go first quarter. Fires it in. Kari Grant has the first down, close to the red zone for the Calgary Stampeders.
Bakari Grant, who joined the Stampeders as a free agent after 5 years. It's a Hamilton Tiger Cat. They pulled J.C. Sherritt out of the middle to open up that window with that flat route to Jerome Messam underneath.
Once again, Messam. Chopped down by Patrick Watkins on the corner. Jerome Messam, 31-year-old out of Brampton, Ontario. Milestone day for him today.
Suiting up for game number 100 of his well-traveled career. And I'll tell you, I think after stops in BC, Edmonton, Saskatchewan, briefly in Montreal, I think Jerome Messam has found a home here in Calgary. He's been tremendous.
Well, they needed him this year. This is the first Labor Day game in quite some time that John Cornish has been part of the Stampeders. Mitchell now, here comes the heat. Has some time, rolling, chased, throws end zone, touchdown, Anthony Parker. That was Unitas-like. Bo Levi Mitchell. Poise, time, rolling, throwing, touchdown.
And Bo Levi Mitchell feels pressure here. That inside rush from the edge, ducks outside to buy time. Gets on the same page as receiver Anthony Parker. Parker, by the way, with that one, sets a new career high in receptions with 34. Terrific season for him in year 6. Number 3 overall pick back in 2011.
So the Stamps are going to go for 2 here, 3 for 5 on the season. And Anthony Parker, high marks already this season, and he's only halfway through this season. So Double tight end package here on the 2-point convert attempt. Bo's got loads of time here. Tons of Mississippis. He throws. Bakari Grant has it. With a minute to go in the first quarter. An 11-0 Stampeder lead.
You hit the nail on the head, Blackie. It's about Bo Levi Mitchell getting time in terms of that protection from his offensive line, buying a little bit of time with the path that he takes on the rollout. Very difficult for defensive backs to cover for that long. A second earlier, Bakari Grant had a defender right in his hip pocket, but by that point, as Mitchell's rolling out that way, he's able to redirect.
Here's the touchdown once more.
An eye on Anthony Parker, wide out to the wide side of the field. And it's just the scramble. He recognizes where he needs to be as his quarterback gets on the move. Making that eye contact there, you saw Bo Levi Mitchell directing him inside. He's in position to shield that ball from the oncoming defender.
16th touchdown toss for Bo Levi Mitchell. Third touchdown of the season for Anthony Parker. This one will send Doe right back to the last yard of the end zone, and it didn't go through without touching, so he had to take a knee, and it's now 12-0 on the single-point boot. So a game and a quarter that was very close, back and forth, suddenly turns, and you go back to that Kenzel Doe decision earlier to field the ball near his 5-yard line instead of maybe taking the point there. It really flipped the field.
Yeah, field position, we talk about it all the time. It's so huge in terms of determining the outcomes of games. It's a battle back and forth, and you've got Edmonton right now going against the wind. And so the field position is critical. They could have had that extra yardage, but you saw the trade-off combination of that decision. They had a penalty on the drive, not a great punt from Grant Shaw, and suddenly you've got Calgary working on a short field, and they score.
Handed off to John White. Smother job there from the Eskimo front, from the Stampeder front line, and John White again back in the lineup. Missed last week with a hand injury, but gets nothing there.
Well, John White, obviously the starter for the S at running back, but a tough act to follow after the way Shakir Bell played last time out. 138 yards for him on the ground.
Darrell Walker, Adarius Bowman in motion. Riley looking in their direction. Now he has to step out. Go down to his third read for White out of the backfield, and again short of a first down with 3 seconds to go. And here's the thing, 3 seconds to go. Had they had that extra 3 seconds, they would have been kicking with the wind. They now have to punt against it again.
And a guy who's got to be happy with the performance of his defense through the first 15 minutes, Devon Claybrooks, D coordinator for these Stampeders.
Shaw needs a better kick this time. That's a good one into the wind, but there are whistles.
You saw the reaction of Grant Shaw, knowing that he would have liked to have kept that punt.
Edmonton-born Grant Shaw played in Saskatchewan with the Huskies. University player. Former second-round pick of the Argos.
Edmonton is challenging the previous play for defensive pass interference on number 87. They're number 87.
So that's just going back. That's why the whistle was blown. There was a challenge flag that was thrown. Again, when Riley went to that outlet for John White. So they will look at this. See if Darrell Walker was interfered with.
Just fucking take it, because you know you can't be in the same window as him when he's got.
So Darrell Walker comes out. He's the inside man of the 3 receivers you see on your screen. Right there, about 3-4 yards. Big collision right there with Josh Bell.
And you have a 5-yard area.
Yeah, that was inside of 5 for sure, not to mention.
He rolled him over.
Yeah, I mean, to me, it appeared to be contact initiated by the receiver.
And the challenge rules altered this week. That first challenge no longer a freebie. You lose this challenge, you lose a timeout. Here it is.
After review, there is no pass interference on this play. It is an incomplete pass. Edmonton is now charged 1 timeout.
And you wonder if Jason Moss was getting the sort of panicked call from up above saying, we think we got something, and had to make a decision in a hurry without a complete look at that one.
So a reboot for Grant Shaw. Let's get that same kind of hang time on this one. Line drive, good kick. Finch slips, picks it back up. What a head shake there. Look out here. Roy Finch with a hurdle. Roy Finch is going to score. There is a flag down. Finch with the touchdown. 85-yarder. But is it coming back? Roy Finch slipped, lost the ball. Now Al Bradbury conferring with his crew. On the final play of the first quarter. And this looks like it's going to count.
Major foul, unnecessary roughness, Edmonton, number 55. The play results in a touchdown. This penalty will be applied on the next kickoff.
What a final 2 minutes here in this opening quarter for the Calgary Stampeders. And Roy Finch has his first return touchdown for the Stampeders.
That little bounce seemed to flatten out the Edmonton coverage unit, and it's that cut right inside, right there on Jordan Lynch, the contained guy, and now he's got a two-way go on the kicker, Shaw. Ball's in the middle of the field. It's not like you've got the sideline as a second defender if it's pinned over to the sideline, so it's a tough situation for Grant Shaw to be in one-on-one against the shifty Roy Finch.
Once again, they line up to go for the two-point convert. Messam in the backfield with Bo Mitchell. Calls his own number, but won't get there. So the first quarter complete. Couple of explosions by the Calgary Stampeders, including one from this guy.
Hey, I do this for you,
Roy Finch, 85 yards. Didn't look good early in that return. Looked great later. Close quarter up until the final 2 minutes. A whole lot of Bo Levi Mitchell, some Anthony Parker, and Roy Finch.
Yeah, Roy Finch with the big strike at the end. The Stampeders just all of a sudden took over the momentum, and it kind of began with that short field after a couple of decisions for Edmonton that maybe hurt them. Obviously, the decision to field the punt rather than giving up that point. They had a tough punt into the wind immediately after that. And short field against a pretty efficient offense, obviously you're giving them a great opportunity.
Would not have seen this one coming right now at this point of the game. So Mike Riley and the Eskimos have been down this road before. This is a team, by the way, in the first meeting with the Stampeders. They play again next week in a rare two-game series between the Alberta rivals. Back to last year, the Eskimos won 3 of 4 if you include the West Final, 2 of 3 in the regular season. So Kenzel Doe, the penalty that's applied after the kick. Calgary operates into the wind. Doe from his goal line. Now Doe trying to respond up near the 26-yard line. So Mike Riley and the Eskimos offense needing to get on track here, and you can credit a lot of this to the Calgary Stampeders defense.
Yeah, Calgary Stampeder defense hasn't allowed Edmonton to develop any sort of momentum or flow in this ball game. Ron Claybrooks and his crew doing a terrific job so far they've been able to keep the dynamic duo of Walker and Bowman very, very quiet.
Calgary D that only gives up an average of 5.6 yards on first downs. That's best in the Canadian Football League. They go with a double tight end package here for the Eskimos. Play action. Riley now wanted to go for it here. Now he's in trouble. Mike Riley has to toss it, and Corey Watson trying to get it with one hand.
Mike Riley felt that hit came in high, but he's buying time, standing in as long as he can, waiting for Corey Watson to come open as he comes across the field. There you'll see, just as he drifts left, he's just waiting for Watson to come into an open window, knowing he's going to get hit.
Oh,
and there you see, straight on. Helmet-to-helmet collision here. No question, the first contact there was the face mask. That can be challenged. But they used that challenge. It up. Lost a timeout already. Penalty flag that flew.
Holding. Edmonton, number 67. Penalties declined. Third down.
So everything going wrong for the Eskimos here. Riley takes a shot to the bucket. Holding call. 3 2-and-outs in a row from the Eskimos. We seem to talk every game now about the chess match involving those challenges, the timing of using them, and so on. And the Eskimos using and losing. And one that seemed fairly clear that they weren't going to get turned around, whereas that time, with the win, they could have kept it. Now Finch. With Dion Lacey there's a penalty flag. It looked like it might be no yards. So this fumble may be negated. A 47-yard kick. We'll have to see here as Finch lost it. The big speaker that's in the middle of the field here at McMahon, there's only one shadow, and it was right in the area where Finch went to field that football. Bounced off his shoulder pads, it looked like. Lacey was there. They're saying it likely is a no yards call. Should take away that turnover.
No yards. Edmonton, number 40. 15-yard penalty. First down.
From a potential turnover to a 15-yard penalty. See the shadow there? Well, this is the right call with a lot of moving parts. You'll see Finch standing just beyond the 30-yard line. So, I mean, your 5 yards is going to be about there. You can see Dion Lacey clearly. Good call. Just inside of that. Official well positioned to make that call. So Bo Levi Mitchell goes to work once more. Up 18-0. Quinn McDaniel up near the 50-yard line. 4-yard gain for McDaniel. Last week, had a pedestrian 2-catch 33-yard performance in the win over Hamilton. Stampeders used their formation and motion on the last play to try to get a pre-snap read. They had Rob Cote, the fullback, line up at tight end and then motion out. Have a look and see who went with him. 2nd and 6. Mitchell hangs in and lets it fly. Bakari Grant. Neil King, free safety, brings him down at the 30-yard line. Another big play from the Stampeders, a 30-yard pickup. Mitchell to Grant. I mentioned Rob Cote, the fullback, lining up as a tight end. He's in here again. Watch the little thing he does here. Gets a piece of that defensive end. Michael Buchanan helps slow him down. Takes a piece before he releases. That's going to help out their offensive tackles as they do that to Buchanan, as well as obviously Odell Willis in this ball game. Jason Vega, the other defensive end. Double tight end again. Jerome Messam. Bo Levi Mitchell now 10 of 11, 160 first half yards, and we still have 12 minutes to play in the second quarter. So right now, Mike Benavides, defensive coordinator, and the Eskimos D have to find some answers in a hurry for this Stampeder offense.
Well, this is a defense that's played so well during the 3-game winning streak and seemed to get better every week as they get a little bit more familiar with the system and a little bit more familiar with each other, quite frankly. But right now they are back on their heels. Calgary Stampeders are throwing everything at them.
Messam again behind. Mitchell carries the mail, but is stopped right there on second down, and it will force a field goal attempt. Jamari Hunt there to wrap up Messam.
Big defensive stop there for the Eskimos, one that they needed. You know, coming into this ball game, no surprise they wanted to try and limit what Calgary did on first down, force them into second and longs, not even second and mediums, but second and longs, where they could try and get the pressure, hopefully try and create some turnovers, force Bo Levi Mitchell into some uncharacteristic mistakes with some heat.
Paredes from the 33-yard line, and now has successfully kicked 30 field goals in a row, moving closer to his own record. Big lead opened up here on Labor Day for the hometown Stamps.
A real simple little look at one of the keys on special teams to get the ball in the hands of the guy you want returning the rock.
21-0. Calgary Stampeders. 4-1 set for Riley. Goes to the little slant pattern. Denzel Doe with the reception, close to a first down. How about this number right now? The Calgary Stampeders over the last 3 games against Hamilton, BC, and Saskatchewan have only trailed for 24 seconds out of almost 200 minutes of play. Staggering.
Remarkable efficiency.
Doing it to the Eskimos today. John White up near the midfield stripe.
Well, perhaps a couple of key breakers here for the Edmonton Eskimos as they try to get Calgary off balance. The Calgary defense that's certainly been in a rhythm since the opening series of this ball game. Kenzel Doe, his first catch of the season. And getting John White involved on the ground, trying to mix things up at a time when the Stamps might expect Edmonton to put the ball in the air.
Only one catch from Darius Bowman as John White on second down. Beltray came flying at John White, so they'll likely measure this, see what the third down will present.
You're going to see Beltray. This is just the right stunt being called at the right time. He's looping all the way around to the inside. Finds himself in just the right gap to make that play.
So third and a long yard here for the Edmonton Eskimos. Mike Riley soars over the top. Big surge there. First down Eskimos. But right now, no Darrell Walker yet. Darius Bowman just one catch. So the explosive tandem, we haven't heard much from them.
And I'll tell you, as much as those guys can be explosive and turn things around in one play, I'm not sure that what the Eskimos don't need more right now is a long drive. Give their defense a bit of a break, as well as taking the crowd out of the game and gaining some momentum. A big play doesn't give your defense a rest.
Trying to find a way to the end zone. John White.
A couple of great cuts there from White.
Goes to the 35-yard line. Big first down. One of the biggest plays so far for the Eskimos. And an afternoon so far bereft of those. 14-yard pickup. Into the ball game now. Jordan Lynch. Shotgun with Riley on the sideline, and this is what Lynch does, but not with success this time. He's dragged down by safety Joshua Bell.
I appreciate the desire to throw those key breaking type things at the Calgary defense right now when you're feeling like you've got a little thing going, but Mike Riley and John White had a pretty good thing going there too, that I'd almost be inclined to stick with that until they stop it, save the other stuff for the next time you need to throw a changeup.
Well, especially when you're down 3 converted touchdowns. First half, Eskimos trying to get some mojo here. Stampeders jumped. They're pointing to the Eskimo O-line, thinking they were drawn. Looks like they may have a point. Once again, Al Bradbury with the call.
Procedure. Edmonton, number 65. 5-yard penalty. Remains second down.
Simeon Rotier, guilty party. Huge red and white crowd here, mixed in with some green and gold in the Battle of Alberta. 2K16. 2nd and 13. Stamps loading it up again here. A rush 4. And Riley has to step up. He's in trouble now, rolls, and again a flag flies, and Mike Riley is picked off by Jamar Wall. Yes. Is this a penalty against the Eskimos in the backfield?
Holding. Edmonton.
It
number
is.
66. Penalty
So
declined.
it's a pickoff
interception
for the
first down,
Stampeders. Everything going their way. Jamar Wall's first interception of 2016. Mike Riley throwing the pick.
Friday driving double feature. Took my girl and we didn't watch either. My stomping ground, where we got live,
Mike Riley struggling here with the Eskimos, to say the least. Statistically, on the scoreboard and facing a lot of pressure. Jerome Messam on the inside handoff. Big freight train rumbles close to a first down.
Well, that's a big first down run, but let's look back at how this pick happened. You're going to see a twist on the front side of things. This is going to allow Micah Johnson to come free. He's the one that ultimately forces Mike Riley, and you'll see 2 guys stay on the end. Beltrade, the tackle, D'Anthony Batiste, he's got to come off on that loop to take Johnson. He's late coming off. Johnson comes free, forces Riley to step up on the rush. He's under pressure trying to force a throw in. You all know pressure creates mistakes.
There he goes again. Fumble football. Calgary has it. Messam once more. Right guard Brad Erdos downfield to keep the drive moving for the Stampeders.
Well, this reworked Stampeder offensive line. Doing a real nice job for Jerome Messam. And you see these guys were backed up into their own end. That was just the second play. Here's the first play of this series. Look at them getting a body on a body, getting up to second level. Jerome Messam just being Jerome Messam.
A positive defensive play for the Eskimos. J.C. Sherritt, the knockdown.
Yeah, Sherritt very nearly had interception number 4 on the season. There's number 47. He's going to loop left on this. Finds himself right in that throwing lane.
Eskimos D that's been taxed here in this first half. They've been on the field a lot. Stamps rolling. Second down from the 31. Again, flushing out Bo Mitchell and throwing it into his own bench. So they'll boot it away, but they get away from the shadows of their goalpost.
Yeah, and this is what I mean. I've said a number of times over the years, you get the ball deep in your own end. Even if you don't march the distance of the field, you've got to get at least a couple of first downs just to balance out that field position. So, I mean, even though they find themselves now a few plays later punting the football, there's a big difference between punting from your own 36-yard line versus punting from inside your own 5.
Just 5 minutes to go before halftime, and time is now for the Eskimos to try to get some points with the wind at their backs. Rob Maver, look at this floater. Zeldo from his 31 and trying to find his seam, and he runs right into a pair of Stampeders. 47-yard boot from Maver. 21-0 the score for the Calgary Stampeders on Labor Day. Hall of Famer Dave Dickinson had a rude welcome to coaching. Lost his first game and said enough of that. Has not lost since as a head coach of the Calgary Stampeders. Wearing that camouflage hat today. It's Military Appreciation Day, and a salute to our men and women of the armed forces, many who are here today taking in this ball game. Happy Labor Day. Thank you to you all for your service. Mike Riley trying to air it out now and trying to get some continuity, some chemistry going. Finds Darius Bowman for his second grab, 8-yard pickup.
Well, this is a team offensively that has relied so heavily on those two guys. Bowman on the inside here along with Darrell Walker. Those two guys come in with over 60 catches each.
John White gets the first down up near the 50-yard line with just over 4 minutes to go before halftime, and right now the Stamps pitching a shutout.
Edmonton going into that no-huddle mode now, trying to change up the pace a little bit on the Stampeder D.
Ron Mayo licking his lips. 6 to 10 again. Bowman on a hitch. Darius Bowman moving closer again to a 1,000-yard season for the third straight year. Still have not heard anything today from Darrell Walker.
Again, both of these guys come in with over 60 catches, and to give you kind of an indication of how much Edmonton offensively relies on those guys. I mean, you've got John White with 37 from the backfield, but the next two receivers combined, Corey Watson and Chris Getzlaff combined, came in with 59.
Big second down again for the Eskimos. Stamps drop 9. Bowman close to a first down. It looks like he'll get the favorable spot at the 50. This should move the sticks, and they will. First down from the 50. But we'll have to wait because it is the 3-minute warning before halftime. Mark's Labor Day weekend continues from McMahon Stadium in Calgary.
I'm Mike Riley, quarterback for the Edmonton Eskimos.
Riley takes a long look. Anybody home? He's going for Bowman. Got him! Touchdown! They found Darius Bowman, and he finds the end zone.
And you're watching the Labor Day Classic on TSN.
Well, Mike Riley trying to find the end zone in this first half. And nothing has gone right offensively or defensively. Late penalty flag flies here after the carry by John White. Garrett Davis in on that tackle.
Objectional conduct. Calgary, number 95. 10-yard penalty at the end of the play. First down.
Davis will go to the sideline. That will move the sticks once more for the Eskimos.
Watch for Garrett Davis coming off the very left edge of your screen. Just launched John White. A little too vociferous in the celebration.
Well, that was the aftermath that got him that flag. Crowd now amps it up again here at McMahon. First and 10 from the Stampeder 37. Trying to get on the board. Riley looking end zone, and it's caught. What a beauty by Darrell Walker. Touchdown, Eskimos. How about that?
Darrell Walker makes his presence felt with a bang.
Welcome to the Labor Day game, Darrell Walker. Suddenly, the Eskimos find pay dirt.
And Mike Riley puts it on the money and puts his faith in his receiver. You saw Brandon Smith running hip pocket. But just an inch is all Darrell Walker needed
And that was a PI.
to lay out for that touchdown.
That was a PI. Can't hold you, boy. And it was a PI.
Darrell Walker saying it was a PI as well, interference, but he'll take that touchdown.
Yeah, take the TD over the PI.
32-yard point after for Sean White. converts, and suddenly the Eskimos are on the board. Almost really a mandatory touchdown late in this first half. Do not want this to get any further away from them, because it got away from them early in this game.
Great job.
There's the man of the moment, Darrell Walker. Eskimo receiver. And just using his speed, he recognized once he gets to about here and the DB, Brandon Smith, has opened up, he's turned his hips. Walker feels like he's got him. He's looking for the ball. Riley's got faith in him the second he gets the DB to turn. Let's Darrell Walker go and get that one. Terrific job to accelerate, fully extend, maintain that possession through contact for the S first touchdown.
Mike Riley with his 17th touchdown pass. So family Riley, pops and mom, breathe a little easier. Great feature in the pregame on Pat Riley, the father of Mike, his mom Rhonda. How much of an influence he had on Mike's career. Told him to go play in the Canadian Football League, and we're glad the dad did that. So you can put another point on the board here as Roy Finch takes a knee, and so 21-8 the score right now. Bo Mitchell now looking to respond again with some time here before halftime. We'll send it back to Rod and the boys back at Tim Hortons Field as they also get ready for our nightcap tonight, second half of our Labor Day doubleheader. Argos and Ticats. You played in both ends of that Labor Day.
Sure did. Loved them both.
Does it meet the hype playing in a Labor Day game? We all talk about it.
There's no question. It's special. There's an electricity in the air. Labor Day weekend across the Canadian Football League.
Mitchell back at work. Now goes deep. Has his man. Oh, what a catch by Parker. What a season this guy's having.
Yeah, we saw in his touchdown catch, he set a new career high for receptions in a season with that catch. Anthony Parker sets a new career high in yardage. Well thrown ball. Parker gets over the top on that wide side corner. Cord Parks. Terrific concentration.
I'll keep it on the ground. How about Bo Mitchell's MO? Come right back at you.
Well, that's the answer you want in a game where you feel like you've carried the momentum, you've dictated the pace. The other team comes back with a pretty good drive, gets on the board. The Calgary Stampeders would have none of that. Good play call there from Dave Dickinson.
Back to the red zone. Once again seeking end zone. Half dominated by the Stamps. Mitchell on the corner route.
Yeah, signals crossed over there.
Looking for Tavares Daniels.
You get those situations where you're judging what the route is going to be depending on the depth of the DB. Certain depth you want to run a hitch, otherwise you may want to run a fade. Daniels was taking it upfield. Clearly Mitchell was thinking hitch or throw behind.
So Paredes coming out once more. Last week 5 for 5, a chance to go 3 for 3 before halftime. This is from the 22-yard line, and most significantly, he's now made his last 31, inching closer again to the all-time record set by, oh yeah, Rene Paredes. Rene Paredes with a big kick again. What a great day for football in Calgary. As Edmonton fans making the trek, 3-hour drive, and they're back at it next weekend as well in the rematch.
Great week to be a football fan in Alberta.
Great week to be a football fan all around the world. NFL kicking off, CIS football, high school football in Canada. And there it is, Labor Day. people. I guess it's a little bit cliche. They always say, well, the CFL season doesn't really begin until Labor Day. I would suggest it doesn't really kick in, especially for that second half, and things start to percolate.
Well, you start to get a few more divisional games within your own division, so those 4-pointers.
It's a short kick, high kick. Doe trying to kick it outside, cannot. William Longley, special team tackle. Well, the Edmonton Eskimos, last 3 games against the Stampeders were all wins, all orchestrated by Mike Riley.
Yeah, Riley, remember, missed some time with injury at the start of last season, but came back in time to face the Stamps a few times. He's looking to recapture a little bit of that 2015 magic.
11 of 15, 119. Touchdown and a pick so far today, and we've got a whole second half, but he'd like to put some more points on the board here. Going the other way, and Darius Bowman almost snared a highlight reel grab, but could not.
Yeah, got both hands on it as he laid out, but just the hand position he was in, basically both hands underneath the ball as he hit the turf, didn't have enough strength in that position to hold on at the end.
Another key second down for the Eskimo offense. Otherwise, Calgary will get another crack at putting more points up. Already put up 24 here. Riley with time, clutches, and overthrows Watson. Watched by Bell, and still a minute 31. Another 2-and-out. 4 2-and-outs induced by that Stampeder defense.
And you mentioned the time. That's leaving a lot on the clock for a Calgary offense, rather. It's not necessarily known as a deep ball team, a big play team per se. But we've seen some big strikes to McDaniel out of the gate, to Parker on the last play. A real opportunity for them to try and pad this lead before halftime.
Bradshaw will have the benefit of the wind. Starting to pick up here. Monstrous kick. Finch is going to watch this bounce into the end zone. They've got to get back. They're within 5 yards. Finch takes the knee, but a no yards call. 79-yard kick from Grant Shaw with the breeze.
And I'll reiterate, a good decision by Roy Finch. Let that one bounce in. On the last Eskimo kickoff, he got handcuffed a little bit as to it was near the goal line. He was trying to decide whether to field it or let it go.
Roy Finch, one of the big playmakers so far in this first half. That electrifying 85-yard punt return. 6 of the 24 Calgary points. Here is the call.
No yards. Edmonton, number 25. Penalties decline. We score a Rouge. First down.
So they will score the Rouge, the 1 point. For all of our American football fans watching, enjoying Labor Day, the Rouge, a big part of the Canadian game, the single point. Jason Moss, who played in a few of these Labor Day classics, is a quarterback for the Eskimos. Mo Mitchell. Sit on the turf. Talked before this game about the offensive line and plug and play. Spencer Wilson going to center, and all the injuries to, of course, Dan Federkow first and Pierre Laver 2.
Yeah, I mean, the key to this offensive line being able to continue rolling, and no sacks allowed so far today. They've been terrific the last couple games, but the key is the versatility of Spencer Wilson.
Yes. Bakari Grant. Patrick Watkins with the tackle, and again, with inside a minute now, moving very close into field goal range now. Spencer Wilson moves into the center position. This is a guy who has gone right down the line.
Yeah, I mean, he's one of their starting guards. If they have everybody healthy, he's a starting guard. Fader Kyle goes down, Wilson moves to tackle. Lavertu goes down, moves into the center.
Sharon Breskison makes the catch, his second as a Stampeder.
And there you see Pat Delmonico, offensive line coach for the Calgary Stampeders. Guy responsible, not just for helping Spencer Wilson get prepped to play different positions, but help a rookie and Eucambre Williams get ready for this game, make his second start at right tackle.
Now we know how hot Paredes has been. Rene Paredes has made 31 in a row, 3 in a row today, but again, it's against the wind, so they've got a couple of tosses here to get it in range. Talk about a model of consistency. Second all-time percentage-wise in CFL history is Paredes. 86.1 lifetime. And has put his name into the CFL record books, and he might do it again.
And this was a guy who was undrafted in 2011.
As Bourne, grew up in Canada. Let's see if it gets on his foot before halftime. Mitchell. Oh, picked off. And no whistle. And it's Kenny Ladler. He's going down to the 5 to the end zone for the touchdown. There are no flags. There was no whistle. And the Eskimos strike back again. Oh, Mitchell's first pick, first turnover by the Stamps in 2.5 games. Ladler jumps the route and takes it the distance.
Oh, what a huge play by Ladler. Keep an eye on the inside receiver. Receiver slipped trying to make that break back to the inside. Lamar Durant, that allowed Ladler, strong side linebacker, to get a jump inside him on the ball.
63-yard return 40 from Ladler, the Vanderbilt product. See if he got touched. They'll review this, but no, he's up.
Yeah, clearly on his feet.
So Ladler with a huge play before halftime here on a pick 6. 63-yarder, Sean White, 32-yard convert. And sudden, we've got a completely different ball game as we head to the half.
Hey, boy. We said the progression this week, you go
His first interception, his first CFL touchdown.
Can you hear me? Kickoff.
Stone Mountain, Georgia native. Spent some time in the NFL with the Buffalo Bills.
Keep an eye on Kenny Ladler here. He's the inside defender in that group. We'll circle him right here. And he's working against the inside receiver. Receiver is going to bend out and try to come in, but he loses his footing right there. That allows Ladler to come downhill. He's going to beat him to that spot. Great reaction to the ball and great reaction to get back to his feet in a hurry before anyone could touch him. Race to the house. Just like that, the Eskimos are back within a score.
Well, their defense has done that a few times this season. J.C. Sherritt did that, so did Dion Lacey, and 21-0 to 24-17 now. The big foot of Shaw elicits a single point again. And we are set for a nail-biting second half. It looked like it might have been a rout.
Well, it shouldn't be any other way on Labor Day, should it?
No, it should not.
Hey! Hey!
Maybe we had a harbinger earlier today when we met up with equipment manager Dwayne Mandrusiak celebrating his 60th birthday, and we were talking to him, and we asked him, I think you asked him, you know, what was your most memorable Labor Day? And he said, well, it was back a few years ago, the Eskimos were down about 25-3 or something like that. We came back and won. There he is. Happy birthday.
Yeah, one of the all-time good guys in the CFL right there, Dwayne Mandruzia.
Well, there's a guy who's never given up the faith. Another Grey Cup ring for him. He's been around for many years with a lot of great players. And maybe in the spirit of Normie Kwong, who we remember this week, a guy who played on both sides of it, why wouldn't we have a thriller today?
Great memories of Normie Kwong. He was the general manager that drafted me here 25 years ago.
Great man.
Great man, and you know, lived many different lives,
yes.
quite frankly. You know, depending what age Albertans are, they will remember Normie Kwong from different walks of life, whether it was football, whether it was business, whether it was the political world.
Passed away this week. So all of a sudden we got a game and maybe a Labor Day classic. Mike Riley and the Edmonton Eskimos down at 21-zip. Rally back 24-17 on Mark's Labor Day weekend. Suddenly the Battle of Alberta heats up.
Rod Smith back with the panel of Jock Climby, Matt Dunnigan, and Milt Stegall. Oh, all Calgary at first. What a game we have right now. We have seen a lot of big plays, and for Calgary's offense, Matty and Bo Levi Mitchell, that was right out of the gate in this game.
Yeah, it was, and absolutely loved the mindset. Set the tone early and get Marquay McDaniels, not literally a take the top off the defense type of receiver, but when you do this, it's going to open up everything underneath for the rest of the football game because you get the DBs in that defensive mode, which they should be. Absolutely love the mindset. It reminds me a lot of Shane Buechele and Deshaun Kaiser going at it last night in that Texas Notre Dame game. Absolutely trading shots here late when Mike Riley got in the act and started putting the ball in the end zone with Darrell Walker. To me, this is the way it's got to be in these type of football games. Big plays happen, and these quarterbacks are certainly capable.
I want to turn my attention to special teams. And Milt, I want you to remind the folks what I said earlier in this season, the first time I saw Rory Finch return to football.
It's just a matter of time before he's going to break one, Milt.
That's exactly what I said. Milt was like, no way. Well, to your credit, you didn't say that. But it's the way this guy returns to football. I knew it was just a matter of time. He is a north-south guy, and that's hard to find. I mean, this is a guy, he was in Ottawa last year very briefly. He's been bouncing around. He may have found a home in the CFL. Watch this cut coming up right here. This is what you want to see right there in a CFL punt returner. It's all north-south with this guy. He's got over a 13-yard average now with this return this year. Only second to Rainey in BC. This guy is very impressive, and he's a big reason why the Calgary Stampeders had so much momentum in that first half. Let's see if they can keep it going here in the second.
Well, early on in this game, this Labor Day Classic was looking like a Labor Day tragedy. Calgary Stampeders were doing everything right, and Edmonton Eskimos couldn't do anything right. But they have some big playability that allowed them to get back into this game, and it starts with this guy right here, Darrell Walker, maybe the best receiver in the CFL when it's time to make a big play. And this was his first and only catch of the first half, but it had that impact on it. Then their defense got into play. Kidney Latler with a great interception and with the mindset not just to sit there, but to get up and score a touchdown. These are plays that allow your team to get back into this game. Now they're back in it. 24-17, they have an opportunity. They have momentum now going into the second half.
They certainly do. We got a ball game, just 7 points right now. Hey, they put 41 on the board. All last year, the entire game, they only put 23 on the board with Calgary winning that game 16-7. Here's a look at the halftime stats at McMahon Stadium. Most importantly, a 7-point lead for Calgary, but Edmonton certainly closing the gap, you can see, except for the passing yards, of course, in Calgary's favor. And one of those passes by Bo Levi Mitchell was a touchdown to Anthony Parker. He's got a couple of big ones. Here he is now with Jermaine Franklin.
Anthony, great half for you until the end, obviously, but can you talk about that scoring play and the way that the offense played?
You know what, overall, I mean, I think we're playing well, both seeing the field well. They're dropping in a lot of zones, and we're just trying to find the spaces on that play. He scrambled out, bought some time, was able to find an empty spot, and he put it on me. So all in all, I'm liking where we're at.
What is the key for this offense to shake it off after giving back a score at the end of the half?
We just got to come out sharp. We got to make good decisions in the return game. We got to get the ball up the field, and then hopefully we can put one in the end zone. That'll give us a little more confidence, keep things rolling.
Thanks for your time.
Thank you so much.
Well, Parker and the Stamps led by 21 in the second quarter. Now that lead is down to 7. Markway McDaniel, Bo Levi Mitchell, Roy Finch with a big first half. Second half kickoffs coming up.
Complexion of this ball game changes on this play by Kenny Ladler. Pick 6 for 65 and a touchdown. 24-17 Stamps. Here's Jermaine with the touchdown interception hero.
Kenny, it's incredible how the feel of a game can change on one play, and I think it's safe to say it happened on your pick 6. Can you take us through that play?
Oh, definitely. We're just sitting back waiting on it was a robber play, so sitting back waiting on the quarterback to throw to the check down, and just made a play on it, and just took off as soon as I caught the ball.
What was the message to the team heading into the second half of the Labor Day Classic?
We got the momentum. We just need to stop the big play and just continue to dominate on defense, do what we do well, and take this game all the way to the end and fight. Keep fighting.
Thanks for your time.
Thank you.
Well, there's the operative word, fighting. That's what this guy knows everything about. Mike Riley, no lead is safe around him. Tell you what, it did not look pretty for the Edmonton Eskimos early on in this ball game, down 21-zip.
Well, it only resulted in a field goal, but they got knocked back on their butts right on the first play of the game. That bomb to Markway McDaniel, you heard Matty Dunnigan talk about it out of the gate at halftime. That kind of set the tone. And then, you know, even though they held on for a while there, a couple of big plays, Anthony Parker, Roy Finch, obviously on the punt return TD, and the Eskimos were reeling, but Darrell Walker and Kenny Ladler with a couple big plays of their own brought them back at the end of the half.
Roy Finch gave the Stampeders some momentum, of course, with his return. Bo Levi Mitchell, stellar first half, outstanding up till the pick.
And this was the opening offensive play of the game, where they looked to kind of set the tone. The help from Jerome Messam, that offensive line, they were very good in the ground game. One of the things that stood out, looking at Bo Levi Mitchell, was the job he did buying time in the pocket a few times, moving around, keep some plays alive.
Went 36 straight possessions, Bo Levi Mitchell and the Stampeders without a turnover. This one a huge one in this game. Out of the backfield for Messam. Dion Lacey. Two big bodies colliding there.
Dion Lacey, a guy who's earned his reputation in this league as a dominant special teams player through his first couple years, emerging as a very, very good linebacker this season. And everybody recognized, because of what he did on special teams, the tremendous physical skills that this guy has. But one of the things Mike Benavides talks about is how sharp, how smart Dion Lacey is. He said, I tell him something once, and he's got it.
Calgary 5 of 11. Second down conversions in that first half, where they put 24 on the board. They try to get the first down here. Parker. And he loses his helmet. You see Sherritt coming in there to make a tackle. And 7-yard gain, very close to the first down marker. Looks like it might be a yard short, maybe a little more.
Parker's just running that hitch. Good closing job.
Sherritt with a finishing touch here. So it will be third down. It's more than a yard. It's about a yard and a half. So their first 2 and out for the Calgary Stampeders. They will again operate against the wind in the third quarter. Edmonton won the coin toss. They'll have the wind in the fourth. It's been a big difference in wind. 35 points scored with the wind so far today. Just 6 points against. We'll monitor that. Denzel Doe on a 51-yard kick. Dropped after only a couple yards on the return. Mike Riley and the Eskimos close the gap after a horrendous start.
Prepares to go back to work. The Calgary defense really set the tone early in this ball game. Getting pressure on Mike Riley, and largely for probably the first 20-25 minutes of this ball game.
That was a huge play, though. They got them on the board.
And they had kept Bowman and Walker quiet. Bowman was huge on the series that led to Walker's touchdown.
Riley's in trouble, and he's going down again. Another sack. Third, Micah Johnson. the game for the Calgary Stampeders, who began the game with a back-to-back sack attack.
Micah Johnson is so important at that defensive tackle position. They've battled a lot of injuries at those spots over the last couple of years. This is their go-to guy, a difference maker when he's healthy.
Eskimos 4 of 11 on second down. John White, another loss.
Another play by Johnson on the tackle. Pressure supplied by Frank Beltre.
So we've seen this trend in this ball game. Good field position with the wind. Branshaw has to come out, kick against it. And Roy Finch is going to hover near the midfield stripe. You got to limit your damage when you are playing against this breeze today. Good kick by Shaw. Finch back to his 35. Bobbles it. 57-yard kick, and Finch scampers close to the 45-yard line. A penalty flag on the field. We'll sort it out when we come back to McMahon Stadium on Labor Day 2016.
Well, special teams play is such a big part of life in the Canadian Football League. Here's a couple of real good ones going at it. Mike Miller leads the Eskimos in special teams tackles. He's matched up against Ben Daguilar. Daguilar caught in that trail position. Shot from behind, former McMaster star.
Oh, a penalty on the play, sends it back to the 30-yard line. Loading it up is Mitchell. And Patrick Watkins locked in a battle with Deveris Daniels. Watkins actually had a better chance at getting the football than Daniels did.
Good coverage by the veteran Patrick Walker. Daniels is the outside man. That formation for Calgary, a guy trying to establish himself as a deep threat. Pat Watkins was just waiting on him on that deep route, though.
So 2nd and 10 now. Stamps have already had a 2-and-out early in this second half. Here comes the heat. There goes the ball. And another 2-and-out here for the Stampeder offense. And momentum seems to really flip to the other side of the field. The Edmonton Eskimos getting it, grasping it late in the first half.
Well, that pressure is such an important part of it for the Edmonton Eskimos. Not just Bo Levi Mitchell, but the Calgary offense as a whole is a group that typically isn't going to beat themselves. They're not going to make mistakes and shoot themselves in the foot. But you greatly increase the likelihood of that when you're forcing them to have to make decisions a little bit more quickly when you bring that kind of pressure.
Former Wisconsin Badger, Kenzel Doe. Aver with a huge kick. 63-yarder with the breeze. Doe in his scrum. Down he goes. Mike Riley trying to bring his team all the way back here at the stomping ground.
Right here, right now is where we're gonna stay. So come on, every with me, let me hear you say yeah, yeah. Hell yeah, till the day I die.
Hot seat for a hilarious night of insults from an all-star roster of comedians and celebrities, along with roast master David Spade. Don't miss the roast of Rob Lowe tonight at 10 Eastern, only on Comedy. Sea of red here. McMahon Stadium, Labor Day, nothing quite like it. Battle of Alberta later tonight, the Battle of Ontario. There's the old Leatherheads. Stamps helmet's a little different these days. Mike Riley, 5 minutes gone, third quarter. Quick snipe to the outside for Walker in a spin move. Up near the 30-yard line. Mike Riley just loving this day on the schedule.
Labor Day is always great. I mean, the fans are super excited on both ends. And generally, it kind of marks the first weekend when games start having some big time importance around our league, not just with our game, but with all the games around the league. So by this time, you've worked out a lot of the kinks on your team, offensively, defensively, and now you just hope you're playing your best football because that's what everybody else is trying to do as well.
John White will be short of a first down. Riley floating it out to him.
Mike Riley talks about the importance of games at this time of year. You look at the race that's going on in the West. Everybody's had the heat. Yeah, I mean, they've had the heat cranked up for a few weeks. Edmonton's won 3 in a row, and they're kind of trailing. I mean, Winnipeg's won 5 in a row. Calgary's unbeaten in 8. BC's won 4 or 5. You're just trying to keep pace.
Riley, 3rd down and 1. Will get it. You know, talked earlier about Bo Levi Mitchell and his fascination with Johnny Unitas growing up. And I always love talking to the players about who their heroes were, who the guy they played on Madden and all those things. And for Mike Riley, it's the guy whose number he wears, Dan Marino, number 13. He's always a favorite of Riley's growing up. He's worn that number.
He's got that championship that Dan was always looking for.
Exactly. 13's not such an unlucky number, particularly in the CFL. All-time passing leader, of course, wore that. Certainly not unlucky for Mike Riley. Looks once, now he's going to go down, sacked again. Tag team. Ron Mayo and Frank Beltray getting to Mike Riley for the 4th Stampeder sack of the afternoon.
Well, look at the 2 Stampeder linebackers here. You've got Mayo and Singleton in those 2 spots. Those guys are going to cross their paths and create a little bit of confusion. Mayo ultimately is the guy who's going to come free because John White opts to go the other way for Singleton. A little bit of confusion because of that cross. You saw 2 guys go for Singleton as Mayo comes free to get to the quarterback.
No sacks for the Eskimos. Here's the pressure again. Riley's dancing. Like Riley looking, tiptoeing on this line of scrimmage, and then goes out of bounds back near the line of scrimmage. So Mike Riley couldn't find anybody home, and that will once again bring out Grant Shaw with 7 minutes to go in the 3rd, and the lead remaining at 7 for Calgary.
Well, Mike Riley is on the scramble here, and he's going to be looking along this right side of the field. And you'll see as he gets over here, basically from that hash out, I mean, there's really nobody out there, and he can't throw across his body when he's going full tilt, shoulders fully turned to the sideline. Only receiver over there is Nate Kuhorn on the sidelines, and he's covered, but there's nothing else on that side of the field. He had no choice but to tuck it.
To the fan once more for Shaw. See here the 35. Labor Day was a little labor intensive for the Eskimos early, but
cue the comeback. Bomb to Darrell Walker. Served notice that it was game on, and then Kenny Ladler late in that first half with the pick 6. And suddenly, one possession ball game. That's where we stand.
We've got a ball game, and the 2 defenses tightening the screws here in this 3rd quarter. No scoring yet. 5-yard game for Jerome Messam.
Well, that's Messam's 16th touch of this ball game. He's chipped in about 80 yards offensively. We talk so much about Bo Levi Mitchell, but Jerome Messam, real linchpin of this Stampeder offense.
Second and 5. The end around, and Anthony Parker continues his great afternoon, picking up a first down.
Well, Rod, you and I had the opportunity to watch Anthony Parker play a lot during his time at the University of Calgary. And this was a big part of what he did, running sweeps as well as catching the football. Dynamic, athletic player. Great kick-out block there by the right tackle, Williams, to open up that lane.
First and 10 Calgary from the Stampeder 51. Nursing a 7-point lead. Here comes the Heat. Sidearm from Mitchell. Look out now. And up near the 40-yard line is Daniels. Comes into the lineup, filling in for the injured Joe West. 19-yard pickup for Davaris Daniels. Another first down.
Well, Daniels is just going to hit that quick slant from the boundary side. Finds a lane and gets it upfield in a hurry to move those sticks.
Product from the Fighting Irish, Notre Dame. How about that game last night? Kicking off week 1 in the NCAA. Notre Dame and Texas. Mitchell now, some confusion, and he goes down the sideline. Had one read, one play, went the other way. Improvises and finds Daniels, and again a fresh set of downs for the Stamps after a 15-yard gain.
Davaris Daniels certainly serving notice. He's the outside receiver here. He wants to remain in this lineup. Got an opportunity when there are some injuries in the receiving corps. Some discussion as to whether Joe West would come back this week. He stays on the injured list for another week. Daniels continues to roll.
Tight end package again, swinging it out for Messam. Messam knocked out of bounds. Maybe half the first down yardage.
Well, Jerome Messam is, simply put, it's a freak of nature.
Yeah.
You're talking about a 250-pound guy.
Kind of LeBron James like of football.
I mean, making people miss. Brampton bus.
There he is again. He's played on both sides of this Battle of Alberta. What a godsend to the Stampeders, especially with John Cornish. And now Bakari Grant will score. Touchdown Stamps.
Wide open.
Quick hitter, quick strike Stamps on a big drive and started at their 36.
You're going to see things come wide open in the middle.
Where was everybody?
Linebackers are uptight, DBs are off a little bit. There's absolutely nobody sitting in that second level in the middle.
Easy Paredes. The point after.
This is why you need to be able to run the football.
Something that he used to watch quite closely in Hamilton when his old teammate Dave Stala used to do that. And Andy Fantuz has done that a few times, but Bakari Grant has found a home here in Calgary now. Big part, big weapon in that Calgary offense. 31-17 now. Denzel Doe looking to follow a wall, and downfield very quickly, Ben D'Aguilar. Former MAC product. Master actually playing behind the guys in the panel. Tim Hortons Field today.
That's right, taking on the Toronto Varsity Blues and a little bit of OUA, CIS action.
Those were the only points so far. That touchdown in this third quarter with 3 minutes to go. And keep in mind, again, when they change sides, the Eskimos will have the benefit of the wind. And almost all the scoring today has been with the wind. 42-6. From south to north. Frank Beltre slow to get up.
And you'll see Beltre running right here, headed for that logo on the field, approaching center. You see he's doing battle with one Eskimo as he takes a shot from another.
Mike Riley now trying to answer. Play will not get off.
Procedure. Edmonton, number 67. 5-yard penalty. Remains first down.
Anthony Batiste flagged for that.
Again, going back to the field position point, this territory of the field, you can't afford to take that penalty that backs you up even further.
This is what did the Eskimos in early. They trailed by 21. Riley's trying to stand in. His release is John White. It'll be second down and 15 for the Eskimos.
Well, the thing you'll see here is that Calgary is only going to rush 4 guys at the line of scrimmage, which means they're dropping 8. First and 15, they're just trying to take everything away, and you'll see how it forces Mike Riley into the check down. 8 guys in coverage, smothering those 5 receivers. His only option is to check it down to the back on that swing.
A rush 3 this time. Riley goes sideline, but way behind the intended target, Darrell Walker. Looked like a bit of miscommunication that time. Walker was flying. And so another 2 and out. And another short field, it appears, for the Calgary Stampeders.
We'll see how this exchange turns out. Punting into the wind as well, Rod. Line of scrimmage about their own 15-yard line.
There is a whistle. Is there going to be a challenge here? Jason Moss chat with Al Bradbury. Looks like they are going to challenge that last play.
Edmonton is challenging the previous play for defensive pass interference on Edmonton number 87. This will be reviewed.
Walker, who was like a fly pattern down the sideline, couldn't come back to the football. Let's check it out here.
Yeah, we'll keep an eye on this matchup towards the bottom of your screen. Darrell Walker working against Tommy Campbell, the Stampeder corner. There's a little bit of a bump and maybe a grab. A little bit of a grab, it looked like, as Walker tried to come back to the football.
Could be preventing Walker to come back.
Yeah, you saw the right hand on the shoulder pad.
That was the play. It was for Walker to come back. And remember that Jason Moss and the Eskimos lost their first challenge and also lost a timeout in the first half. They may have a case this time, though.
Yeah, I think this is a good challenge. Right hand on the left shoulder pad, left part of the shoulder pads of Darrell Walker.
Not sure Walker would have even come back to get that ball, but still, it clearly looked like interference. You can't grab the guy. So they have certainly a winnable case here. He's back in command. 2:35 to go here, third quarter. Don't forget, later tonight, Mark's Labor Day weekend continues. Argos and Ticats from Hamilton. Now Bradbury now has the verdict.
We have defensive pass interference on Calgary number 25. Ball will be spotted at the 37-yard line. Automatic first down.
Well, poor Tommy Campbell is going to come to hate these reviews.
Yes,
after he had a pick 6. It would have been a game clincher taken away last week after a review went against the Stampeders in their game against the Hamilton Tiger Cats.
Hates the invention of replay.
Tommy Campbell's been a terrific find overall for these Calgary Stampeders playing on that boundary corner.
What a great story Tommy Campbell is facing adversity to get back into pro football. And John White brought down by Taylor Reed.
A terrific tackle made there by Taylor Reed. Playing in space. He's been missing out on a few snaps in this ball game. There's Reed, your middle linebacker. Again, he essentially had to give up his starting spot this week. You see him duck in behind the pullers. He reads those 2 pullers and just cuts behind them to get to the running back. But with the Stampeders starting an extra international on the offensive line, they had to start another Canadian elsewhere.
Pump and go, and we might have another interference call. We will, and once again, it's Tommy Campbell on Darrell Walker, and that one was clear as day. So this will keep this drive alive for the Eskimos.
Defensive pass interference, Calgary, number 25. Ball will be placed in the spot of foul, automatic first down.
And here you'll see the battle. This time, Darrell Walker with a little change of pace, stutter step.
So the ball spotted at the midfield stripe, the 55-yard line. 20-yard penalty.
We'll look to see if they try to go back to that matchup again. If only because Tommy Campbell may be a little bit gun shy. But trying to get hands on Walker here because of those two calls may present them an opportunity.
Walker close to the screen here, closest side, 3 receivers set. Riley, play action, gives it out to Walker on the far side. He sprints out and looks like he will be given the first down. Very close to it. Interesting formation on the waggle there that time by Walker. He goes in motion. First time we saw that today from the Eskimos.
Yeah, Walker motions from the boundary to the strong side, left to right on your screen and just out into the flat.
It'll be second and inches now, Dwayne. Riley keeps it going. So with 1:18 to go in the third quarter, significant here. If the Eskimos can find a way to get some points against the wind, they'll have the wind in the fourth.
And go back a couple plays. This came after the couple of calls.
Mano a mano. Great one-on-one.
Yeah, team games, but you love having a look at some of those isolated one-on-one battles. Great drive here by the Eskimos, started at their own 19-yard line.
Keep it on the ground for White spin move. John White still spinning. And still turning those legs. 8-yard gain when it looked like he might be stuck.
Season, Achilles injury, but hasn't lost a kick.
Stutter step by White. That will move the first down marker.
Well, this is a terrific drive for Edmonton. As I said, they started at their own 19-yard line. This is what you want. They've taken over 3 minutes off the clock. This is Calgary's time with the win. You know, so as much as you may think they want a quick strike, try and get back in this thing, stay with the Stampeders, grab momentum, whatever, for them to eat up the end of this third quarter, take away Calgary's last opportunity with the wind in this ball game is significant.
Barring penalty, final play, third quarter. Think back to that challenge by Jason Moss. How important that now looms. Keep it on the ground. Bucket down. John White over the 30-yard line. It's going to be a second down play when we come back to the fourth quarter. Eskimos down 31-17. Calgary looking to make it 7 wins in a row. But the Esks have the wind in the fourth. Wild ride Labor Day Monday so far, just 7 points in that third quarter. But if you look through all the numbers, that last line rings the loudest, does it not?
Well, it certainly does, as the Eskimos will have the wind here in the fourth. And again, doing a very nice job to make sure the Stampeders didn't have the wind and the ball to end that third quarter.
Mike Riley just over 150 yards passing so far. That's very uncharacteristic of the Eskimos, but they've had some big plays, obviously, from the defense. What do the Eskimos have to count on here in the fourth?
Well, I think you'll probably see Darius Bowman get a little bit more involved. He was quiet in that third quarter. If you think back to the drive that led to Darrell Walker's touchdown in the second quarter of this ball game, it was an Darius Bowman drive. They had fed the ball to Bowman about 3 or 4 times on that drive before they looked to Walker in the end zone.
Tommy Campbell, that penalty, assisting this drive, as well as the challenge. Riley pump and go. And he's got a man in the end zone, but it's the wrong color jersey. Picked off his second interception, Jamar Wall.
There's a window where he had a Darius Bowman on this play. See a Darius Bowman lines up as the outside receiver this time. Turns Deontay Evans around. Got the ball terribly underthrown. Jamar Wall there to help out. Wall comes up with the pick as he's well positioned. And you can see why right there. If you saw Micah Johnson hit Mike Riley's arm, didn't allow him to follow through. That's why that ball fell short.
Wall did come out of the end zone, though.
He shouldn't have.
Should have gone down in the end zone. Had a much favorable field position, but now it's up to Jerome Messam. Dragged down at the 5-yard line. So you have to think here, if the Eskimos make a stop, the Stampeders may be tempted to give up 2. We'll have to see how it plays out here, but the Stampeders, through all of this today, has still been able to maintain this lead.
A great pursuit from the backside there by Kenny Ladler. Watch from the right side. Bo Levi Mitchell lucky to get his hands on that snap. Remember, Spencer Wilson hasn't been a center, hasn't played a lot of center in his career.
2nd and 10 from the 5. Mitchell over the top for Grant. Bakari Grant, big play again. Out of the shadows once more. First down up near the 15-yard line. Huge play for the Stampeders.
Bo Levi Mitchell has to put his faith in Bakari Grant to get to the spot. Keep an eye on where Dion Lacey is lined up, because that's essentially the target. If Grant doesn't get there, that's 6 points the other way for Lacey. Big first down for Calgary.
Mitchell. Parker. Another Calgary first down. Make that Daniels. DeVaris Daniels on that far side. 15-yard pickup.
They're going to bring Daniels in motion from the backfield here. All the way across the formation. Just a quick hitter. They get a couple nice blocks. I believe it was Lamar Durant and Anthony Parker. The 2 blocks on the front side of that allowed Daniels to pick up first down yardage untouched.
4 for 58 for DeVaris Daniels. His 3rd game as a Stamp. Mitchell goes deep now. And a late flag. Interference call coming. Bakari Grant streaking downfield, and Marcel Young trying to plead innocence.
Offside, Edmonton, number 41. Penalty be declined. Pass interference, Edmonton, number 23. Point of foul, automatic, first down.
Big gain on that penalty, up to the 47 now. 32-yard penalty.
Bakari Grant is the number 2 receiver to the boundary. You'll see Marcel Young pick him up, and he's running in the hip pocket. Now here he's in pretty good position. Really just reaches at the end. To me, he doesn't impede the receiver. He doesn't grab the receiver. This is a couple of tough calls that have gone against Marcel Young in this ballgame.
1st and 10 nonetheless for the Stamps. Messam's had a lot of touches, only 1.5 yards maybe. A couple of big drives engineered by Bo Levi Mitchell today. One in the 2nd quarter. They started at their own 4. This one at their own 5.
This came, big hit from Odell Willis. Came on the same play. We saw Marcel Young flagged for pass interference. Willis was offside on the play. They declined that penalty.
Throwing down here, 2nd and 10. Mitchell will audible change this play. 3-2 receiver set. He's got time now. Loads of it. Look at this. Now he steps up and on a crossing pattern has Lamar Durant, who's down inside the red zone. A 27-yard gain here, Dwayne.
Yeah, Lamar Durant is going to come right to left across your screen. Bo Levi Mitchell picks him up partway on the scramble. Then the second-year man goes to work. Nice effort after the catch. Very nearly kept his balance.
Drive that began at their own 5-yard line. Eskimos haven't been able to stop them. 8th play on this drive now. And Bo Levi Mitchell looking for the dagger. In traffic, threads the needle. Marquay McDaniel, haven't mentioned that name in a while. Usually you get near that goal line. We'll talk number 16.
Remember, we ended the third quarter talking about the work that the Edmonton Eskimos were doing offensively against the wind. Well, how about the Stampeders right now, giving them a taste of their own medicine? Starting out, as you said, at their own 5-yard line. Chipping their way down the field, eating up the clock on the Eskimos.
Benavides watching on that far sideline, sniffing the end zone. Jerome Messam will score a touchdown. Major score in his 100th career CFL game. 105 yards rushing.
A nice job here by the center 50, Spencer Wilson. He has the kick out. That allows Jerome Messam to turn it up inside. Dances his way in.
9-play, 105-yard drive for Jerome Messam. CFL on TSN is brought to you by GMC. We are professional grade. Battle of Alberta.
Happy to be kicking ass on Labor Day, baby. 100th game, I'm blessed, man. Can't ask for anything else but to be a Stampeder. Let's go, baby. Next week, we're going to get him at him again.
And the Brampton bus doing it again. Jerome Messam goes to 100 yards from scrimmage today. 55 on the ground. That 105-yard drive by the Stamps may be the undoing here now of the Eskimos, who had crawled back to within 7, but only have 9 minutes now and are down 21.
Well, it's going to take a couple of big plays in a hurry for the Edmonton Eskimos, particularly if Calgary continues to be able to put together drives like that. They're not going to have a lot of opportunities with the football here in this fourth quarter.
Shotgun again for Riley from his 36. Fires it in. And it's a fumbled football. They're whistling it. Walker had it. And it's ruled incomplete.
And just like that, big 2-and-out created by this Stampeder defense. Certainly well rested after the extended previous offensive drive for Calgary.
Eskimos, even though they have the wind, have not scored in the second half. Calgary doing all the scoring here, trying to close out their 7th straight win. Finch, big return in the first half. Nowhere to roam this time with a flag on the play. Day for Bo Levi Mitchell. 370 yards passing.
Well, that would be a new season high.
During the return, illegal block, Calgary, number 29. Half distance to goal. First down.
The road to Russia continues tomorrow when Canada faces El Salvador in their World Cup qualifying match. 10 Eastern, 7 Pacific on TSN 1, 3, and 4. You're enjoying your Labor Day, your last day before the kids head back to school tomorrow. It signals the unofficial end of summer, and of course it always means the Labor Day Classics in the Canadian Football League when the second season really kicks into gear, second half. Messam keeps churning.
This is Jerome Messam's time of the game. Look, the Calgary Stampeders have been productive on the ground in this ball game. Been a steady dose. Jerome Messam, big bodies up front, leaning on people. Eskimo defense coming off a long drive now. This is just the Stampeders looking to wear them down in the fourth.
What a perfect opportunity for Messam in Calgary. John Cornish walks away from the game and desperate need of someone in the backfield, and just happens to be a national. Looks like he's going to be a little short. Third down and a long yard, and looks like Rob Maver's going to come out.
Smart trade by the Stampeders last season, obviously, when they were committed to having that running back position be a Canadian starting spot. Jerome Messam was with the Saskatchewan team that wasn't going to make the playoffs. They were looking to trade. He was headed for free agency in the offseason. Came and finished up with the Stampeders last year. Both sides clearly liked the fit. Jerome Messam given the opportunity to play for a team that was going to play a Canadian, was going to run the football. Re-signed some free agency, and it's been a terrific fit since.
Ansel Doe. Great coverage downfield so quick by the Stampeders. Nullify another return. Time running out on the Eskimos. Stampeders rolling right now on Mark's Labor Day weekend. The CFL, our province and our country, lost a legend this week in the passing of Normie Kwong at the age of 86. Era when the backs wore large numbers like 95. The guy they called the China Clipper was unbelievable. Look at the numbers tallied as a Canadian running back. A day that he must have cherished every year, this day today. They trying to thread it in because he played for Calgary, won a cup here, played for Edmonton, won 3 cups there, honored in both cities. It's some of the highlights of Normie Kwong's great career.
I mentioned earlier that so many people would remember Normie Kwong from the different stages of his life, kind of depending on how old you are. It might change what your greatest memory of Normie Kwong was, but that's where it all began, was as an outstanding football player.
Riley steps back, gives it to Adarius Bowman. Very astute guy. He signed you. He knew. But here's the thing.
Hey, everybody's allowed a mulligan.
Yeah, he's Lieutenant Governor of this province. Canadian Football Hall of Fame. Canada Sports Hall of Fame. Order of Canada. He changed people's lives. He was a part of the ownership group of the Flames. He has his name on the Grey Cup and the Stanley Cup. He truly was a legend. Corey Watson, far sideline.
Those tough on the field deserve a truck that's tough on the road. The 2016 GMC Sierra.
2nd and 1. Riley will get that. You know, Normie Kwong set that record for national running backs of 1,437 yards back in 1956, and it was 56 years later that a guy here, John Cornish, broke that record. And you know, every running back and fullback and anybody who's a national who carries the football understands what Normie Kwong meant to the game.
There's no question about that. A great career, both in football and life after football.
Riley stands up and throws it over the top to John White. 4.5 minutes to go. Eskimos desperate now. 12-yard gain.
Keep an eye on the left guard here, Simeon Rotier. As he found himself bull rushed. He wasn't ready for Junior Turner that time.
Riley, play action again, just another pitch over the top. Darius Bowman again and Darrell Walker inching close to 1,000-yard seasons, but barring some miracle comeback here in the final 3 minutes, gonna have to get ready for round 2 of this Alberta battle next week up north. First red zone trip of the afternoon for the Eskimos. Three-man rush. Riley again has nobody home. Tucks it, takes it, and will score a touchdown. It's 4 straight games now that Mike Riley has scored a touchdown rushing the football. There is also a late flag on the play. So now with 3:21 to go, Eskimos still can make it interesting.
This flag to me looked like it came after he scored. Just appeared Alex Singleton, the linebacker, underestimated the speed of Mike Riley.
After the touchdown, major foul, unnecessary roughness, Edmonton, number 67. This penalty will be applied on the kickoff.
Riley sees everything's covered up deep, but there's not much in second level, so he's going to take off. Just one man to beat that Singleton. He gets him caught inside. Turns on the Jets.
Sean White squeezes it through. So it's a 2-possession game, inching close to that 3-minute warning. Again, Grant Shaw will kick with the wind here and a penalty added on. 7-play, 60-yard drive.
And it becomes an interesting time, Rod, in this ball game, because you've got the 2-game series that goes on here. And essentially, you're prepping once, you're game planning once. At this stage of the game, when you're Edmonton, you got to kind of decide, okay, do we pull some stuff out to try and win this ball game? Or do we keep that stuff for the second half? Don't show them everything. But then the other side of it as well is obviously when you're talking about the possibility against division rivals, potential of tiebreakers and so on, you're very aware of any points that get scored.
So again, that penalty. It's the ball at the 20-yard line for Shaw. 38-24. If you're just joining us, the Stampeders had a 21-0 lead. Eskimos rallied to make it 24-17 at the half, but it's been predominantly Stampeders in the second half. Roy Finch. Will he do it again? Look at this. Dancing up near the midfield stripe. 3-minute warning. Here in the 4th. Mike Riley finds the house once more. Will it be enough?
16 in a 6-pack. $20 and a shoulder tap.
Win column in the East. Big one coming up. Labor Day Classic marks Labor Day weekend continues, and flattened is Markway McDaniel by Kochi Mwamba. Stampeder
Timeout's
team
called. Edmonton.
That needs a first down here, or the Eskimos will get the ball back again, and you just never know.
Yeah, well, the Eskimos had their opportunity, or any thought of a short kick taken away from them because of the penalty after the touchdown. So in terms of getting the ball back in good field position, they need this stop.
They did fight back in that first half, trying to do the same here near the end of regulation time. 2:43 remains. Second down and 11 for Bo Levi Mitchell. Steps back, looks, has his man, and it's Messam once more.
It's going to be close.
Looks like it's right at the first down marker. Looks like they will move the sticks. Huge play. Messam out of the backfield. Again, over 100 yards today. Total yards from scrimmage.
And there you have Messam. J.C. Sherritt is going to pick him up. You'll see he's going to check release, meaning linebacker doesn't blitz. He's getting out. There's a head fake, which freezes Sherritt on the inside, allows Messam to get that half step. And whether intentional or not, I think he picked up a little bit of a rub there from the slot, Bakari Grant, that slowed Sherritt down a little bit more, allowed Messam to get a couple steps on him.
Giant gain for the big fullback. Could be the sealer as they move into Edmonton territory.
Keep an eye. There's J.C. Sherritt. Jerome Messam is in the backfield as he sneaks out of there. There's the head fake that slows Sherritt down for a minute. Now as he's pursuing, he also has to bubble around the receiver Grant and his defender to try and fight out to his guy. By then, Messam's picked up those first down yards.
The Calgary Stampeders a couple minutes away from making it 5 straight Labor Day wins. They've won 6 of their last 7 on Labor Day. And there goes Jerome Messam, turning it on, taking it to the end zone, touchdown! Oh my goodness! The gate opened up, and the Messam Express rolled through. Normie Kwong would have loved that.
The Canadian running back doing his thing. Watch the work of the Calgary offensive line here as well. Jerome Messam going to work. Once again, Spencer Wilson around the edge. They got a couple of down blocks. Guard and tackle pushing their men to the inside, but Messam spots that crack, turns it north-south, turns on the wheels.
There you go, baby. Messing it up, messing it up.
The Beast does it again. Now it is over.
Hey, that's a good set, bro.
Any hope the Esks had.
Yeah!
Eliminated by that
100th
man.
game, baby. Labor Day Classic. Couldn't ask for much more. It's a great feeling.
Well, Calgary Stampeder fans certainly couldn't ask for much more. Messam makes them miss him again.
Well, terrific job by the offensive line. There's 3 blocks, and watch Shane Bergman get up to second level. And the big man swallows up J.C. Sherritt. Things are secure at the line of scrimmage. He gets on Sherritt, and that's the key block right there that opens up that lane for Jerome Messam to turn it north-south.
158 total yards, 2 touchdowns for Jerome Messam, the former Eskimo. J.C. Sherritt dancing with Shane Bergman. Can't get to that guy. 3-3 has an unforgettable Labor Day. So do the Stampeders. Ansel Doe following some blocks. With 2 minutes to go, we can officially say that we are getting ready for next week.
They can't stop us, baby. That's so loud in the CFL. That's right. Labor Day Classic.
Hard to dispute the work done today.
Great job, boys.
How about an O-line that has been patched together, really duct tape, and just speaks volumes again about the depth in Calgary through the years. The ability to put people on that line, protect Bo Levi Mitchell. Once again, a sackless game from that O-line.
Yeah, when you combine that sort of pass protection with what they've been able to do in the ground game as well.
And those guys, those Hoggies, they love to rush block.
Yeah, making a pretty good case for Derek Dennis's claim of the top offensive line in the CFL.
Riley still gunning. Deontay Evans with a knockdown. The Calgary Stampeders lead the CFL in pass knockdowns.
Deontay Evans, the guy that took over that field corner position. Fred Bennett, been the starter there for the previous couple of seasons, dealt to Saskatchewan.
Riley looks, fires. There's Nate Kuhorn. Well, the Calgary Stampeder offense has done it. They've been clicking, but their defense has done it as well, particularly at closing time. Second halves holding opposition.
Remarkable, shutting teams down. Second half through 5 games, only 30 total points allowed.
Only 7 in this game. Walker. Well, this is one of the great rivalries right now, though. And John Huffnagel, who so many years patrolled the sidelines with that headset as head coach, handing it over to Dave Dickinson this year. Here's the unbelievable thing about this Calgary Stampeder team. They are indomitable at home.
A year where it's become the year of the Road Warriors. Calgary is the only team that's even above 500 at home. And they're undefeated.
Riley looking, has some more room, and he will step out of bounds. In fact, the Calgary Stampeders with a win today would be 18-2 over their last 20 games, 33-4 over their last 37 home games. They've got some magic here at McMahon. There's Huffer, president and GM.
We've spent a lot of time over the years talking about the job Huff has done as the head coach of this team, but as the general manager, done quite a job assembling the depth. We've talked about that offensive line.
Darius Bowman. And over 1,000 yards receiving on the season, but small consolation in this one. Darius Bowman, Darrell Walker, all these guys. The Eskimos came in here as defending Grey Cup champions and winning 3 of 4 from Calgary last year. But guess what? They have the bullseye on them, as Calgary did last year. They'll look to bounce back next week. Northern Alberta. And that was almost picked off. Brandon Smith. He'd been able to hang on and juggle that. He might have taken it 110.
Brandon Smith read this one all the way, got a terrific jump on the football. Step in front of Chris Getzlaff, veteran leader of the secondary. Smith now in his 9th year out of Sacramento State. Stampeders are looking for a timeout here.
Third down play.
Timeout, Calgary.
Even though this game is out of reach and perhaps inconsequential at this point, still points matter in the season series as well. Should have come down to that second half, but the Edmonton Eskimos are going to have to do some storming in the second half. This Calgary Stampeder team is going to go to 8-1-1. Easily right now the class of the Canadian Football League.
Yeah, Calgary the clear pace setters, but we talked about how hot 3 other teams in the West have been coming into this one. They've snuffed out the Edmonton streak at 3 consecutive wins, but still got those Winnipeg Blue Bombers rolling. 5 straight for them. BC winning 4 of their last 5. We could have a great race down the stretch as those teams start facing each other a little more.
Riley has to chuck it, and that will do it for that drive, and their last chance to put more points on the board. Well, they are happy here in Stampede City. And as much as everyone else is streaking and getting ready for a lot of things, try to find ways to devise a method to beat this team in the second half. It's not easy.
So accurate what you say, Rod. You've got to figure out a way to beat them because they are not going to beat themselves.
No.
A team that does not make a lot of mistakes. They've done a terrific job protecting the football, great job protecting their quarterback.
Just one turnover today for the Stamps. No sacks allowed.
Yeah, I mean, defensively and special teams, they have largely prevented the big play.
So they're going to get into victory formation here. 30 seconds to go. Second half dominated by the Stampeders. Got close at the half. And another win on their home turf moments away. Time now for our Nissan Titan player of the game. Isn't it appropriate on the day that we remember Normie Kwong, Canadian running back? We honor this guy.
Yeah, Jerome Messam, an absolute monster today. 24 touches, 159 yards, 110 of those coming on the ground. Many of them coming in the second half at a time where Edmonton had closed it to a one-possession game, but Jerome Messam is the guy that allowed the Stampeders to close it out, and he is your Nissan Titan player of the game.
Official vehicle of the Canadian Football League. Bo Levi Mitchell throws another pass into the stands, almost 400 yards passing. Dave Dickinson, his team now undefeated in 9. They've won 7 straight. It's a Labor Day stampede here in Calgary.
On our team, we already got 10 guys in one league right now.
Final is 45-24, and one more Labor Day game to come. So long, everybody, from McMahon as we send it back to Rod and the boys back in Hamilton.
I have one right here, boy.
All right, thank you, Rod. As they wind things down in Calgary, they are winding things up here in the Steel City. Hamilton, Ontario, Tim Hortons Field, getting set for part 2 of our March Labor Day weekend doubleheader, and another classic rivalry in the Canadian Football League, the Hamilton Tiger Cats and the Toronto Argonauts, as they mill about and tailgate and get ready. And boy, interesting for the Ticats. Simone Lawrence and company, who won the season opener decisively in Hamilton. How must it be for Chad Owens as well, this time on the other side of that great rivalry? We'll get more to that in a second, but let's talk about that first game that you just saw with the Stampeders defeating the Edmonton Eskimos decisively. Back with the panel, Jock Climby, Matt Dunnigan, and Milt Stiegel. Well, at the end of the half...
Before you do that, Rod, can I talk about our working conditions right now?
Yeah, go ahead.
Because we are surrounded by Hamilton Tiger Cat and Argo fans who are in shorts and T-shirts, drinking beers, eating hot dogs, having a great time.
And I wore the dark suit.
We are in suits and ties in sweltering heat.
We look good, though, John. We look good,
This
man.
is Labor Day weekend. Where are our rights? Where are our protections?
We were actually thinking about foregoing our rights and what we should do when we were down the Ticat Alumni Lounge recently.
We might not have been back, and Matt and I done what we wanted to do.
Tell you what, there are a lot of people dressed in Ticat colors now, and we're going to talk about that. Let's not talk about what we were wearing. Let's talk about the Eskimos, the guys dressed in the Eskimo green and gold, and the Stampeders red and white. And this game was getting closer at the end of the half, and then Calgary once again opened it up by 21 and took over in the second half.
I'm not sure there was any doubt going into this game that the Stampeders were the class of the CFL. I thought the only thing that might make me change my mind is a decisive Edmonton win, and we didn't see that, obviously. And I'm going to go back to my point I made in the pregame about Bo Levi. Yes, he's special, but he's got a great football team around him. It doesn't seem to matter. It doesn't seem to matter who he's got out there. He will find a receiver and make him a star. And, here it was Bakari Grant stepping up. And I just I've loved Bakari Grant since he was a Hamilton Tiger Cat. But he is a dominant receiver when he gets the opportunity, and Bo Levi Mitchell gave him that opportunity in this football game. He had 6 catches for almost 100 yards. I just love this one in the play action, and he was right there on the slant. But he made some very tough catches in traffic. He's a big receiver, rangy receiver, and he had a dominant performance in this football game.
Yeah, I credit Bo Levi for getting it done with a different set of characters every year, and good on the organization for continuing finding that talent. talent. But, you know, the defense was dominant as well. They shut down an offense, the Edmonton Eskimos, that's highly potent, and they made them look average in the second half. Mike Riley struggled to push the ball down the field. We saw late there in the first half, he got the ball in the end zone, and they had a little bit of success, but it was simply Calgary just was too dominant in all three phases, Rod, Jock, Milt, and Mike Riley had another tough ball game. I don't know if the Edmonton Eskimos can rebound from this, because when you get it shoved down your throat the last portion of a football game, and you got to play that same team 5 days later, that is a difficult thing to overcome mentally, because they physically dominated you in three areas of the game.
At least you can go watch the film, and the team that loses like in a game like this will know what they have to correct.
The reality is they are now 7 points behind the Calgary Stampeders, 10 games in, and that's awfully difficult to make up, Milt.
Can this team play any better than what they've been playing? You look at it offensively. They had 4 receivers over 100 yards. Jerome Messam over 150 total yards. Bo Levi Mitchell didn't get sacked one time defensively. They had 4 quarterback sacks and 2 interceptions. They're doing everything right now. Are they playing too well, too soon? As a football player, as a team, you want to play as best as you can every single game. And the way they're playing right now, if they continue playing like this, it's going to be hard for anyone to beat them, especially at home. Their last 20 home games, they're 18-2.
Are you telling them to take the foot off the pedal?
No, I'm not saying that. I'm not saying that.
You don't peak too early.
But I know a lot of teams want to play their best football at the end of October, but
they're very business.
Those are the teams that are 4-5 and 5-4. You know, they're saying that, right? The team that's 8-1-1, you know, is absolutely playing dominant football right now, and they're going to continue to believe in the process. They'll continue to correct the mistakes, because there were mistakes in this ball game.
They're not making many mistakes.
No, especially on home field at McMahon. Absolutely perfect, and they're stomping ground. Hey, speaking of stomping ground, this is the Ticats stomping ground.